Here we are in Toronto with Errol, the Truth Spence Jr. And Errol, this must be special for you because Lennox Lewis is one of the promoters. And I know when you were young, the barbershop in your town, they had the hookup for Lennox Lewis fights, and that's kind of how you got into boxing.
Definitely. You've been doing your research. Yeah. But yeah, we used to watch Lennox Lewis fights all the time when I was a little kid, watching fight Holyfield, Tyson, everything. You know, me being Jamaican. So I looked up to him, and I used to watch all his fights. So, I mean, it's a great opportunity to fight in front of him and to showcase my skills in front of him, and also Toronto.
Yeah, it's a completely new audience for you fighting in Canada now. You've been beating up Canadians, but you haven't been in Canada. Have you been here for a couple days, kind of getting settled in as well?
Yeah, I've been getting settled in. I mean, it's really no different from United States. It's no different at all. But I've been getting settled in, and you know, they just been treating me well. I went to the gym, Chris Johnson's gym, and trained there. You know, he welcomed me, and it was a great atmosphere.
You've been particularly busy in 2015. I mentioned the wins over LaGreco and Sammy Vargas. Do you like that kind of schedule, just staying in camp, or is there a point when you're like, hey, I want to break, I want to settle down for a bit?
At some time I want to break, but right now, you know, I'm at the breaking point where I'm turning into a contender. So right now, you know, it's just full-time grind. As long as I'm healthy, you know, God willing, I'm going to keep fighting and keep staying busy so I can get to the top, and then I'll take a break for a little bit.
Now, I was going to ask you about that because, you know, everyone refers to you as the top prospect in boxing, but I kind of view you as a contender already. How do you view yourself? Because I would definitely put you in there with the top 10 welterweights in the world.
I definitely view myself as a contender, as a top 10 fighter, but I'm still trying to get a top 10 fighter in the ring. So, I mean, until then, you know, people going to consider me as a, you know, prospect, contender, you know, 1 foot in, 1 foot out type guy.
Well, Van Heerden is a guy who's top 10 in one of the sanctioning bodies, and I would consider him probably to be the toughest opponent of your career so far. Do you consider him the same way? Do you think Van Heerden's the best guy that you fought in your career?
I think so. I fought a tough African fighter when I was like 8-9-0. But Chris Van Heerden, he is a tough fighter. He's a tough competitor. He's real gritty. He's a southpaw just like me, so it makes an interesting fight, and he has a belt.
Tell me about your sparring for this fight then as well. Obviously, sparring a southpaw, a little trickier to find sparring for that, but have you found some guys that can mimic Van Heerden pretty well?
Yeah, I found a lot of guys. You know, I found guys that mimic him very well, but I just wanted to get the southpaw, just the southpaw stance down and spar a lot of guys with that stance, just to get used to somebody throwing a jab the opposite way and throwing punches the opposite way. And I got a lot of great sparring back at home.
Now, if you win this fight and you win it on national television, immediately people are going to be talking about fighting one of those top guys that you were talking about. Now, I know Keith Thurman said you haven't earned the right to fight one of those guys yet. How do you respond to what Keith said?
Well, Keith Thurman said I haven't earned the right to fight him, but I mean, I guess it's in the same aspect as him earning the right to fight Floyd Mayweather. So, I mean, it's like a two-edged dagger with that. So, I mean, I'm not really worried about it. I don't have to fight him. I'm not obsessed with fighting Keith Thurman like he is to fight Floyd Mayweather. So if he don't want to fight, there's other directions to go.
Now, I know obviously Floyd was the one who gave you that endorsement when it came to that fight. What is your relationship like? Because obviously that's a big thing to have an endorsement from a guy like Floyd, but what is your relationship like with Floyd?
Me and Floyd are very cool. Floyd FaceTime me a lot, texts me, you know, check up on me, you know, tells me different things, you know, just him, you know, just telling me different things and just, you know, showing me, you know, a lot of love. And, you know, he don't have to do that because I'm not signed with his promotions. Him doing that, you know, it just shows a lot about Floyd Mayweather.
Especially when the word on the street is that you gave his baby bro, Adrian Broner, some problems in sparring as well.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Errol Spence, looking forward to seeing you in the ring on Friday night, man.
Thank you.